What's going on, y'all? Your boy E-Buck in the building. Do y'all know what time it is? No, actually you don't. Because this is something new. This is something different. For the first time ever, this is the world premiere of my new pod show that I am calling Up in Day Business. Up in Them Folks Business Pod Show. And you asking, okay, why is this any different than anything else you have done? I'm going to tell you why. Because we're not talking politics. We're not talking news items. We're not talking sports. We are talking that thing that a lot of y'all like to talk about based on my timeline alone. It seems like y'all talk about that more than anything else. That would be the entertainment news. What's going on in Hollywood to the hood. That is what we're going to talk about on this show known as the Up in Their Business Pod Show. Now, here's the thing, people. Why did we come up with such name? Keep in mind, it was after many different tries. There's so many podcasts out there now. A lot of the names, they just took, okay? They straight up took up. But we came with the Up in Them Folks Business Pod Show for this reason. This show is going to be one that honors my mother in a couple ways. Let me explain. Once upon a time, there was a kid named E, who actually wasn't a kid when this incident happened. This was several years back. My mom was in her room, and up in that dining room over there in the studio was a bag very similar to the one I'm going to show you. And it was a rather big bag, and I'm like, hey, why is this big old bag in here? I know this is my mom's. Let me take it to her room. So I'm like, did you leave your bag up in the room, Mom? And as I handed her said bag, a bag very similar to the business bag, this one here, she said to me, what you doing with that? Why you all up in my business? Hand me my bag. So from that, we come to the show known as Up in Their Business, because much like how this was my mother's business at one point, this being one of her bags in her collection, we are not going to get into other folks' business. And this is going to represent the business that we get in. So yeah, that's how we're going to play this. We're going to dig up in the business bag, that bag right there. Understand, I know because of the green screen, you can't see it like we need to see it. But I think if I hold it like this here, you can at least get a clue as to this is what it is. We will then go in said bag and find out who business we about to get into. That's how we playing this, okay? So it's a whole little gimmick. Work with me, folks. Work with me. So first of all, whose business are we going to start off in tonight? Let's dig in the business bag and see who we got. We got up in here a microphone. A microphone and also some headsets. Some like a DJ or producer headsets, like, you know? So whose business does that represent, I wonder? Well, actually, I know who business we about to get into. We about to get into these folks' business. Hold on, let me show you who I'm about to talk about. Yeah, them two people right there. Y'all know who this is. They've been talking about it all week. It's our turn to kick it about them. That would be one Cassie, singer, songwriter, and such. And of course, the music mogul himself, the great Sean Puffy P. Diddy Love Combs. We about to get up in their business, okay? So let's talk about it, all right? Here's what it is. Now, everything was all chill this week, right? Until that big bombshell dropped, announcing a gigantic lawsuit against one P. Diddy Combs, saying that he did all type of things. Now, understand, this is one of those shows, one of those pod shows. Now, if you are familiar with the news, you know several people have won on their pod show and got to run in their mouth. and talking about stuff they didn't know everything about. And as a result, they themselves also have been sued and harassed. So we're not trying to have that here. This is a simple discussion about people's business, and we don't know all their business, and we understand that. So sometimes when we have this discussion, folks, we have to use the word allegedly. So look for us to use that quite often on the show. So allegedly, this is some of the things that transpired according to Cassie in regards to her former lover, boyfriend, etc., former boss, Sean P. Diddy Combs. She said that he harassed her. He verbally abused her. It also allegedly was said that he sexually harassed her at times. Sue, says Hugh Lee. Yep, we don't want no lawsuits, my brother. Don't want that. So, yeah. It even goes as far to say there was such an incident that when Cassie, the young lady that was seeing P. Diddy Combs, was on a break from Brother Combs, she was seeing the artist we know as Kid Cudi, allegedly. And they allegedly had some type of relationship outside of theirs. And once Sean P. Diddy Love Combs found that out, he decided that, yeah, I don't like that. And you better tell your boy I'm going to blow his stuff up. I'm going to blow his vehicle up if he don't be from around you, allegedly. Now, here's the thing about it, people. As I put on my Hollywood glasses, what happens now is that, according to Kid Cudi, at some point, his car did get blown it up. You hear me? Somebody did blow up his vehicle. Now, again, allegedly, we don't know who. Now, understand also, in the process of this lawsuit, there is another suit, a criminal case, pending allegedly against one Sean P. Diddy Love Combs. What is that case about? Is that in connection to this case? We don't really know. Again, these are all allegations, allegedly. Now, this lawsuit was some 35 pages worth of stuff that was supposed to be put on display to show that Mr. Sean P. Diddy Love Combs did not deal with her properly to a great degree. And that's why he is being sued. But here's the thing, people. It became a news item that next day, today is Sunday, suddenly out of the blue, almost instantly even, next day, like, lawsuit has been settled. Lawsuit has been settled according to the reports from various outlets, TMZ, Breakfast Club, pick one, okay? Pretty much all of them have confirmed this. Lawsuit has been settled. Everything is all hunky-dory. Forget it all. Jumped off. It got settled out of court. Now, keep in mind, in life, lawsuits often get settled out of court. That ain't nothing new. But it's awfully funny that this one did. Could it be because soon after the report came out, pretty much everybody who was anybody that knew any of Mr. Sean Puppet Diddy Love Combs' business started coming out with little bits of info in regards to the relationship of him and Miss Cassie. Some of her old bandmates, some of her old label mates, some of people very close to P. Diddy Combs, some of his hanging buddies, some of the Hollywoods, and then some. Everybody has something to say. They even went, of course, and dug back through all the interviews in regards to P. Diddy Combs' Puppet Love and talked about all the stuff that came out in some of them interviews. And after, in the court of public opinion, it started to look like, brother, some ain't, some ain't. Then all of a sudden, lawsuit settled. Now, people, you know what the real question is. How did that get settled so quick? Especially when initially he was saying, I categorically deny everything that this lawsuit is saying ain't transpired. But all of a sudden, he settled out of court less than 48 hours later. Come on, folks. Talk to me. All right. He was saying, I heard that she was definitely underage when they was together too. Now that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But see, keep in mind, that's only a part of that story. Remember, we know Sean Puff Diddy Love Combs has been in the news for his relationships, among other things, for years now. Think about some of his past relationships that we know of. Of course, we know the one recently with him and the city girl. Y'all know her. Y'all know about him and Miss Clarissa and all that, and some of the stuff that they went through. We know about the baby that popped up on us a year or two ago that Puffy had with some young lady. We know about one of his other baby mamas, the late Kim Porter, God rest her soul, and some of the rumors that surrounded that allegedly. We also know about other people he dated in the past. A young lady, I think you know her. Her name is, let me think. Let me get up in the business, see whose name that is. Oh, yeah. J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez. Remember that? Remember when they kicked it? Remember when she wore the green dress? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember? You, huh? You remember? I remember. And I also remember that stuff went on that was not good, okay? With them. Y'all remember the whole bar incident where guns were pulled out allegedly and all of that, and then soon after they was broke up and J-Lo ain't messed with him no more. This stuff been following Diddy around for a good part of 30 years now, I would say. And it sounded like that if this lawsuit went through the court, all the skeletons was about to come out the closet, y'all. Allegedly. That's what I think. And I'm pretty sure based on some of the timeline stuff I done seen, a lot of y'all feel that same way. Pete Diddy, Puppy Love Combs, you out here doing dirt, brother. Allegedly. I think so. Because I found it awfully convenient that you killed that and squashed that real quick. Now understand, people. You know, Sean Puff Daddy Pete Diddy Love Combs is often on some of these podcasts. He is a frequent visitor to the Breakfast Club, for example. I think it's going to be very interesting if they can get him to come on anytime soon and discuss. Because if you didn't do nothing, it's an easy discussion. You just tell it like it was. But if some of this stuff is indeed possibly true, then you got some explaining to do, Lucy. Bottom line, me, myself, I think some of it might have been dead on. I don't know for sure. I don't know Puff did his Brother Love Combs like that there. But just based on what we've seen and heard in some of the accounts, it's a lot of credible sources that I would believe when they say some of the stuff they said in regards to what they saw went on while they was together. You know what I'm saying? All these people ain't lying on him. Yeah, I think it's going to be a minute before people let this one slide, even though he's trying to push it under the rug with the sentiment. Then, of course, we all, of course, want to know. So the lawsuit was settled. I know some cash was involved. How much money did it take for her to be quiet? Remember, part of what was said was that, yeah, she's trying to do the lawsuit thing to get money because she was about to put a book out there to get money, and he didn't want that. And I'm pretty sure part of their settlement was like, yeah, you keep that book to yourself, girl. We ain't trying to hear none of that. We don't need nobody up in the business. So, yeah, we will talk about that. Like I said, as y'all see the show, whether y'all see it now or later on after the fact, feel free to leave your comments. And then, of course, what we want is interaction, people. We want you to say, hey, want to say, I don't think so. I believe, I don't believe. We want to hear y'all 2 cents on it and whatnot. Keep the comments respectable, y'all. We ain't trying to get none of y'all clowned out either. But you still feel how you feel. So if you feel like he lying, put him in line. You feel like it's true? Hey, it's true. Just don't get outlandish with it. Y'all know what I mean. Keep it straight. Now, also, as we are doing Up in Them Folks Business pod show, I would love to have a co-host or 2 or 3 come on the show. And we all can have a discussion about these things. That'll just make it much more better conversation as time goes on. If you are looking to be one of those folks, by all means, hit me up on Eric Buckner Messenger or on Eric Hawk 45 or the New Nighthawk Network Instagram page, which is E Nighthawk. Hit us on the Messenger, and let's see what we can do to get some collaboration going on with the thing. Now, if you don't want to put your face on it, y'all just want to talk about it, there will be a VIP line available during the show for you guys to call in with your 2 cents, okay? Understand I said VIP line. That means only a select few of you will have that number. And understand, most of you who are VIP, y'all already have the number. All you need to do is call in. If you're not sure you VIP, if you want to be VIP, we'll have to see. Because, the Nighthawk line, we done tried that before and got a little ugly for a minute. We can't have that. Can't have that. Anyway, let's move on with the show. Speaking of people and publishing books, I think I seen somebody talking about book up in here. Let's see what else is up in this business. That look like a movie. Okay, what's that got to do with something? We got a movie up in the business. And what else up in here? Oh, a podcast mic. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, I know what that means. That means we about to talk about somebody else's business. What up, though? What's happening, family? We about to talk about somebody else's business right now. Who might that be? We about to get up in this person's business. Y'all know who that is. That is the one and only Jada Pinkett Smith, wife of course, the one and only Will Smith. And we up in her business now because she keep putting us up in her business, okay? Most recently, as she was a guest just the other day on the show known as The Breakfast Club, okay? So we ain't got to go allegedly here. You can see for yourselves. As a matter of fact, I do believe I saved the link. Did I? I think I did. If this is the correct link, people, this should take you to the interview. Hold on, is there any way I can verify that right quick, people? I'm pretty sure this is it, though. This should take you to the interview on The Breakfast Club. That link right there. If you click on that on the timeline, that should take you to that interview on The Breakfast Club. If not, just look up Breakfast Club, Jada Pinkett Smith interview, and it'll take you there. And you will see her talk about, of course, the book known as Worthy. Now, understand, I currently am listening to that book on Audible. It is a 14.5-hour listen on Audible, which gives you some idea how long the book itself may be. And, of course, that Audible book is being read by said Jada Pinkett Smith. Look here, man. I'm going to believe that is Coach V. And Coach V, on that show that we call the Big Buck Sports Report, we definitely talk sports. We are very happy the Lions won today with struggle. But we're not talking that here. We got to keep church and state separate on this one, okay? So feel free to tune on in Wednesday. We definitely going to talk about them Lions and what I liked and what I didn't like. And, of course, the sports guru Hugh Lee will be there to talk about on his Guru Sports session. But we got to do the sports now. I have a great book to read. There's a lot of great books to read out here, people, and I always encourage people to do their read. In terms of this book, Worthy, jury's still out. Okay, I'm on chapter 3 now. It's kind of long and drawn out. Now, understand her husband, whose book she also talks about interview on the Breakfast Club, wrote a book as well. His book is far more entertaining than hers overall thus far. I mean, he does a better job of doing the reading of the audio book than she does. She is very melancholy and very monosyllabic. It's just a very calm, and I think it was kind of meant to be read that way by her. But in the same token, that's a hard book to listen to and not get kind of sleepy at times. So I got to listen to it in little bites, y'all. So I don't suggest getting the Audible book. If you're gonna get her book, I suggest you actually get the book and try to navigate your way through that. But anyway, very interesting interview she had on the Breakfast Club. It was obvious that there were certain questions they were not allowed to ask her. It was very obvious. Okay, so of course, Charlemagne being Charlemagne, he kind of jumped into a couple of things. He found his way to kind of dig through some, but to her credit, she basically spoke on most of the stuff that you would want to know in regards to her husband, the late great Tupac Shakur. That was discussed quite a bit. All right, it's called The Making of a Thug by Reginald Chestnut, a former member of the YBI. And yes, that book is available on Barnes & Noble and on Amazon. It is selling quite well. I have seen said book, and I've heard that it is a good book. I do agree with that, Coach. That will be a good book to check out, particularly if you are curious about what went on back in the day in that city known as the D. It does depict that to some degree from my understanding. But back to Miss Jada Pinkett Smith. After listening to that interview, I feel a little different about that. Just a little bit. Can I put him on the show? I'm going to safely assume you have some type of connection to that brother that may make that possible. Of course, he won't be on this show, the entertainment show, but we definitely can have a talk to him on the I Am Nighthawk podcast. We can have that discussion. But, I feel a little different about her based on that interview. I like a lot of people, it seems like, again, based on my social media, have been kind of tough on Jada Pinkett Smith in regards to the whole situation. I really, it's still certain things that she did and has said and not said that I kind of have issue with. One of the interesting things in that interview they discussed, and he asked point blank, did he feel like her relationship with Will was based on trauma bonds? Now, I want to shout out my cousin Elena Miller when I discussed trauma bonds, because she was the person who put me up on what that means to be bonded by trauma. In other words, say if you are a person, much like Jada, who came from an abusive home where mom and dad were abusive to one another. Same with Will and how his father was abusive to his mother as a child. Those are common bonds that you can relate to with one another. And that is what he meant by trauma bonds. She basically said that she felt like initially it may have been that, but as time went on, not so much. Not so much. I don't know. Like I said, when you hear about some of the things that had come out since the book about how they've basically been separated for years now, but don't look to get divorced, and how they are still very close. Basically, how she's went on tour with this book and he has been by her side and has discussed and has said that he supports her. He does not support everything that was said in the book, mind you, but he supports her. And she very much acknowledges the same in that interview. I definitely will have you check it out for yourselves to see what your thoughts are in regards to it. Again, I feel like she kind of throws him under the bus with several things just in general. Like I said, I'm listening to the book the best way I can to get a full understanding. I also have a Britney Spears book on the Audible as well. I ain't had a chance to even tap that. But I don't know. The jury's still out with me in regards to Miss Jada Pinkett Smith and the whole Will Smith situation. I mean, understand, it's their business. Every marriage is different. I mean, they both talk about how they seen examples of long-term relationships and not so good relationships, and all that comes into play in their particular relationship. We look at how their children have come to be. The oldest one doesn't seem to have any major issues that we know of. Of course, he's the one that's not in the limelight, so to speak. The other two that are Will and Jada's kids, a little different with those. Just in listening to either one of them, they seem very learned and well adjusted to a degree, but also very troubled and not quite. I don't want to use the word normal. I wouldn't call them abnormal. They're just different, okay? They're just a little different. And as you listen to Jada, she too comes off as a little different. Keep in mind, part of that interview, very much Hollywood talk. You know how some Hollywood people do and how they talk around things and kind of state stuff and kind of play the, okay, I'm famous, woe is me, victim type scenario. You get a lot of that in part of that interview as well. So, let us know what you think. Again, give us your comments if you check this out later on. Let us know what you thought on that there. That's all I have to say about Miss Smith. We're going to move on to our next subject. What's up in the business bag? Okay, what else we got? Oh, we got one more thing in here. Wait a minute, can y'all see that? That appears to be an ashtray. An ashtray. And it's wrapped up. And what's in this ashtray? That appears to be marijuana. Understand I'm in Michigan, y'all. Don't be tripping. Completely legal here. Also legal in the state of California, where, as our good buddy Coach B is still pointing out, that the making of a thug, that comment from earlier, is going to eventually be made a movie, which also should be quite interesting. Definitely have to talk to you about that sometime later on. Actually, we will discuss, if you would, as we conduct business here on the air. Sorry, y'all. Give me a call tomorrow evening, Coach B. Tomorrow evening after 7, we can discuss then, my brother. Then we can set up everything up from there. That works for me. Hopefully that works for you as well. I know you have a early schedule, so I'm trying to get it to where we get to you before it's time for you to call it a day. So 7 p.m. I'm hoping it works good for you, my brother. I hope so. Anyway, yep. He meant to say bet. Bet it is. All right. Now, yeah. So again, what's up with the ashtray and the Ziploc with the marijuana? Who business we talking about that's involved in that? Well, most of y'all should know. It's got to be this brother right here. That is one Calvin Brodus, also known to the world at large as the great Snoop Doggy Dogg. And as you see, he is doing something that we are very used to him doing, which leads to this story, which was the other big story of the week. When he announced to the world by his Instagram, it wasn't him allegedly, this was him saying it, I am quitting smoke due to family and such. Please respect my privacy. Now, y'all know good and doggone well we can't let them ride it like that. Now, first of all, he used the word smoke. He didn't say that I'm quitting smoking weed or Mary Jane or marijuana or any of the variety of things that type of stuff is called, the cannabis, etc. He said, I'm quitting smoke. Now, understand, people stop smoking all the time. They stop smoking cigarettes. They stop smoking crack cocaine. They stop smoking vape. They stop all that. Happens every day. What's making this different? One, the fact that it is Snoop Dogg. Two, and more importantly, the fact that as Snoop Dogg, we know Snoop Dogg to be one of the biggest and most famous smokers of the weed ever. Ever. Okay? Nobody in the history of the weed has been known for hitting the weed more than that brother Snoop. He is known around the world for being a weed smoker, okay? Most people only know Snoop Doggy Dogg, Snoop D-O-double-G, for hitting the herb. That is what they know him. They don't even know about his music, his acting, his philanthropy, his coaching of football, his podcast, his former show on MTV. They don't know none of that. They know Snoop for smoking weed. We are talking about a man so synonymous with smoking of the marijuana that in a recent interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Mike Epps basically said when he was in a foreign country, I believe it was either Iceland or Greenland, that he wanted to hit the weed and actually called Snoop himself to see if he had a plug in that country. Then, a couple days later, when Snoop himself came on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he was asked, did he have pretty much a plug for the weed around the world? And for the most part, he does. So wherever he may go on planet Earth, whether it's Denmark or Switzerland or the motherland, any of that, he knows a person that can get him the smoke. It's that deep. So that being said, when he announced that he is no longer smoking or hitting the smoke, you had to be like, oh, hell no, Snoop, you got to be lying, bro. I know you lying. You ain't done. Not you, brother. Not you, Snoop D-O-double-G. And if you done, you not done. You might be done for a minute. But you got to smoke. That's what we know you for being high hitting the weed. Now, some people have come out and definitely supported his efforts. And some people have said, okay, if you can stop, brother, I'm going to stop. Now, I'm going to say this very point blank. I think this is some type of publicity stunt. Okay, and I think sometime this week or the following week, we'll find out what it was really about. But I cannot see him stopping the smoke the weed. Between him and Willie Nelson, them is the two most famous weed smokers of all time, perhaps. Maybe you want to throw in Benjamin Franklin, who allegedly smoked weed as weed. Allegedly. But yeah, for him to stop doing, I mean, look, man, I got this photo, okay? Because you look up Snoop Dogg smoking and literally hundreds of photos of different stages of Snoop Dogg and weed pop up on your Google time search, okay? It's that deep. So for that man to say he is not going to smoke no more, and if it is for health reasons, I wish him all the best. Understand that me, myself, stopped drinking on January 20th, 2018. Not for health reasons, but even more so because of my recent health problems. I definitely don't. Keep in mind, I have this one little bottle that I keep as a reminder of not to do the drinking. Okay? Though I, for some reason, keep it because I also think if things get really, really deep and I have to crack open that bottle, trust and believe there is a problem. A big one. Just like this here with the little emergency blunt, same thing. If I ever crack that boy and light it up, do know we have problem. Because according to my medications and my doctors and all that, I ain't supposed to do none of that. Shouldn't even be around none of that. So if it's something involving that, and it's a health issue, and that is why we need to respect his privacy, by all means, Brother Snoop, we understand, and we will give you the grace. But if you are on some publicity stunt, I hope it's a good one. Otherwise, we mad at you, bro. Don't be lying to us. We supposed to be better than that, Snoop. For real, for real. For shizzle bizzle. Anyway, that's what we got, y'all. So the show is going to go pretty much like that. Now, keep in mind, normally we're going to try to keep it going about an hour or so. every week, and we will not be doing this on Sundays normally. We just decided to start it out today because normally we're going to do the show on Thursday around about 9 p.m. But keep in mind, this Thursday is the holiday. I figured, no, we're not going to debut it then. And I've been waiting to debut this for a few months now. But because of the writer strike and the actor strike, I wanted to respect their hustle. And because they have not been wanting to promote during that time, I don't want to promote anything of theirs or about them during that time. But now that things are back and they starting to ramp stuff up again, I felt comfortable in doing the show. Also, keep in mind, people, if you are looking forward to the newest episodes of your shows on network TV, it is said that they will probably jump off around about first week or two of February. And of course, as you know, because the seasons are starting late, we only gonna get like half seasons of most of our favorite shows, such as, pick one. I myself like Abbott Elementary, looking forward to season 3 of that. And Young Sheldon, I like that one a lot too. And of those shows, we'll probably get somewhere between 10 and 14 episodes, depending on the show and what have you. So look forward for that in February. Then in terms of all the shows on the streaming platforms like Power and Euphoria and, those type of shows, those might take a little longer to jump off. Because keep in mind, some of the actors on those shows are some of the biggest actors and actresses in the world. And they got other commitments they're trying to contend with as well and get caught up in whatnot. So that part. Nonetheless, people, check out the show. Let me know what you think. We're going to keep it rolling. Like I said, I would love to have a co-host or two. If you are interested in talking celebrity news and putting your 2 cents up in this folks' business, by all means, contact me on the messenger. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can link up and do this thing. You feel me? I know you do. In the meanwhile, people, I want to get in one more person's business. We don't have anything representing that there because, unfortunately, in this life, we are all living to someday no longer live. And that, unfortunately, is the case for one Rosalind Carter, the first lady, the former first lady, and wife of President Jimmy Carter, who passed away today at the ripe young age of 96 years of age. We all wish we could be so fortunate to have lived a full and fulfilling life as Miss Rosalind Cash Carter did here in this world. Understand that her and President Carter had been married for a remarkable 77 years. 77 years. Think about that one for a minute. As a 53-year-old myself, that's a long time, even for us folks that kind of been here a long time, I can only imagine what he may feel, keeping in mind that he has not been in the best of health himself and has been in hospice himself since February. And I don't even want to say it, but if you didn't been with somebody for 77 years and they no longer here, that'd be a hard one to contend with. It really would. So prayers for the former president's family and prayers for the loved ones of Rosalind Carter. Again, she has passed away this evening at 96 years old. God rest the dead as always. So that being said, this is the end of show, episode 1 of Up in Them Folks Business podcast. Hope you like it. We're about to put the bag away till next time, y'all. I really like this bag. I'm thinking about doing something with it, maybe somewhere down the line in regards to the show. We'll talk about it. But in the meanwhile, it's the show prop, so there it is. So until next time, y'all be safe, y'all be blessed, and try to stay out these folks' mess, okay? That part. We about to get up out of here. We don't have no ending yet, so y'all know what happens when I ain't made the ending promo yet. You just get to begin it again. Deuce, people.